Good morning, world. This year, I will be taking time to answer some relationship questions. These are questions coming from not just the couples that I work with, but also questions that I get from people from anywhere that they may be coming from. Even you watching this video, if you have a burning question, please feel free to send it on and I will do my best to provide you a good answer. Today's question is something that affects a lot of the couples that I work with. And it's one of those situations where every time it happens, like a big split happens, everyone is scratching their head asking, what just happened? How could this be? And the question is, why do people after long periods together decide to separate? And when I say long periods, I'm looking at anywhere from 10 years and up, 10 years, maybe up, maybe 40 years, 50 years even. And you grew up seeing, knowing these people as Mr. and Mrs. such and such. And out of the blue, it's like, ooh, they're no longer married. One of the things that happen, and this happens to everybody, every day we're growing. Every single day we are changing. We are evolving. And what happens is over a period of 7 to 10 years, these minor changes that are happening daily become or evolve into a big change. You don't suddenly wake up one day. It's kind of like when you're looking at a child. Every single day, that little tiny child is growing, but you don't necessarily see the growth every day. But over time, you realize that this little baby is now this ginormous person that towers over you. So that's kind of how the individual or the personal changes happen. And in couples, when I'm changing and the other person in the relationship is changing, sometimes the change does not necessarily bring us together. It's changes that are maybe bringing us apart. And most of us are not attentive enough to the changes that are happening inside of us to realize that, okay, I'm changing, he's changing. What are we doing to make sure that we are staying a unit, to make sure that my changes are still compatible with the changes that are happening with, my partner? Or what are we doing to keep the bond between us so that even though I grow, I evolve, and he grows and he evolves, we're still compatible. So one of the things that people need to do, and I know that every time you hear therapists or dealing with anything, couples therapy, marriage and family therapy, the first thing we say is communication, communication, communication. Yes, communication is actually one of the most important skills that you need to help you fight that disconnect that happens over time. Through communication, you stay involved, you stay knowing who that other person is, and you keep them knowing you. So communication, not just about, how your day was, not just about, what just happened at work that annoyed you or venting. Communication about the same little things that about each other had you so passionate when you first met. Those dreams, those goals, those crazy interests that you found so exciting about each other when you first met, those things that kept you talking on the phone for 3 hours or until 3 a.m. You still have to find some time, even in the busyness of life, to bring those moments back. That way you stay interested, you stay aware, and you stay in contact with one another. Over the course of the relationship, especially when children enter the relationship, a lot of times what happens is that as I'm changing, as my partner is changing, we start to feel a little bit of a disconnect, but we use a buffer to connect us. Buffer could be something like children, which are the most commonly used buffers in relationship, where instead of addressing the problem between the two individuals, we focus on the kids. And as far as parents dealing with our kids, we're still connected through the kids. But what we sometimes forget is that eventually that little baby who needs you for everything is going to be a 7-year-old or a 10-year-old who has less need for that contact with the parent or is less reliant on the parent. So you have more time with each other and actually notice the differences between the two of you. But if you take the time or every day or every week, however often you do it, to make sure that you're spending time together, you're communicating with each other, you're checking in with your partner, knowing, okay, this is what's going on with my partner, this is what's going on with me, that you two know what is happening with each other, each other's needs, and how you are meeting them, making sure that you are meeting them. Because the needs that your partner have on the day you meet them will be different from their need when 10 years down the line. It will be different from the things that your partner needs 20 years down the line. The needs are constantly changing, and it is only through communication and spending time together that you're going to be able to stay aware of what is going on, stay aware of what your partner needs from you, be able to tell your partner what you need from them. And once you can communicate that, then the two of you can make sure that, you're doing what you need to do to keep your relationship together. In the next video, I will talk more about child-proofing your relationship, because one of the biggest things that happen in a relationship is when the kids come in, the parents sometimes they pretty much stop being a couple and go into that being a family mode and focusing on the kids, this nice little buffer that keeps or at least makes it seem like everything is moving along great, when the child is at the center and the parents are moving further apart. But because they're both holding that child, it feels like we're connected, but not necessarily, because eventually when that kid goes away, that connection is no longer there. You are going to have to deal with or be with each other. And if you allow the years to go through where the kid is the focus, then you don't know that person that's next to you 10 years from now or 20 years from now. So until then, I hope you guys are taking care of each other. Take some time, talk to your spouse, talk to your significant other, or the person you're with, whatever the status of your relationship is. Talk to each other. Make sure that you know what's going on with them. Make sure you know what they need, and do everything you need to do to make sure that their needs are met and that yours are met. All right? That's it for today. Good morning, world. Have a great day.